If you receive Social Security or SSI, stop what you're doing and listen to this. There is a rule taking effect this year that changes how often the government can look inside your bank accounts, including accounts you may have forgotten you even have. This isn't a proposal. It isn't something sitting in a committee. It's a documented change to how the Social Security Administration verifies your benefits, happening right now. And most seniors I talk to have either never heard of it or heard a scary headline without understanding what it actually means for their check. I'm going to fix that in the next 10 minutes. For over a decade, I've covered retirement benefits and the rule changes that affect seniors every year. The pattern I see most often is the same. Honest people get blindsided by a change nobody explained to them in plain English. That's what today's video is for. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that button and turn on the bell. These verification rules change quietly, and when they do, nobody mails you an explanation. This channel breaks it down before it lands on your doorstep. Let's get into it. Here's the system at the center of this. It's called AFI, Access to Financial Institutions. In plain English, AFI is the electronic tool the Social Security Administration uses to log into financial institutions and verify what's actually in your accounts. This tool has existed for years. It's not new technology. What's changing in 2026 is how often it's used and how few restrictions stand in the way once it runs. In the past, there was a threshold. The SSA would only run a full bank verification if your reported resources were over a certain amount. If you said on your application that you had very little, in many cases they didn't dig further. They took your word for it, within reason. That threshold acted like a speed bump. It limited how often the agency actually reached into your accounts and pulled real numbers. Most people who reported modest resources simply never got a deep look. Under the approach taking effect now, that speed bump is being removed for a much wider group of people. The agency is directed to run financial verification on essentially all new SSI claims, regardless of how much you say you have on the application, and to do it more frequently throughout the entire life of your claim. Not just once at the beginning. That last part matters. This isn't a one-time check when you first apply. It's an ongoing process that can run again and again for as long as you're receiving benefits. I want to be fair about why this is happening because understanding it helps you stay protected rather than just feeling anxious about it. SSI is a needs-based program. It exists specifically for people with very limited income and very limited resources, and it carries a hard resource limit, $2,000 in countable resources for an individual. Go over that limit, even temporarily, and your eligibility is affected. The program was never designed to support people who have meaningful savings sitting in the bank. The agency's position is that improper payments, meaning money paid out to people who were, in fact, over the resource limit at the time, are one of the most persistent problems inside the program. Year after year, oversight reports flag this as an area where billions of dollars get paid out incorrectly, and then the agency has to go back and try to recover it. So the logic from their side is fairly simple. If they verify accounts more often and more completely, they catch resource problems earlier before a large overpayment has time to build up. A small discrepancy caught in month 2 is a much smaller problem than the same discrepancy discovered after 3 years of payments. Here's the part I want you to really hear. An overpayment is not a gift, even if it feels like one when the deposit lands. If SSA pays you money you are not actually entitled to because your resources were over the limit, they don't just let it go. They will eventually find it during a review and they will ask for it back. Sometimes all at once. Sometimes by withholding future payments until the balance is repaid. More frequent verification is, in part, the agency trying to prevent that exact scenario. Catch it early before it turns into a bill with your name on it that takes years to pay off. Now here's the part that catches people, so stay with me. A lot of seniors hear bank verification rule and think, that's not me, I'm on regular Social Security retirement, not SSI. If that's you, you're right that this specific rule, today, is written for the SSI program. But here's what I want you to understand about where this is heading. SSI is almost always where these verification systems get built and tested first, because it's the needs-based program. Checking resources is already part of its design. And the broader conversation in Washington increasingly circles around the idea of means testing other benefits down the road. Means testing simply means adjusting what you receive based on the money and assets you already have. You cannot means test anything without first being able to see inside someone's accounts. So even if this exact rule doesn't touch your retirement check today, the system behind it is worth understanding. I'm not saying this to alarm you. I'm saying it so you're not surprised later. Let me show you what the verification actually does because this is where it gets concrete. When SSA runs AFI on you, it doesn't just check the one account you told them about. The system can run multiple searches tied to your address and identifying information. It detects accounts you reported, and critically, accounts you didn't. This isn't about hiding anything. It's about forgetting. A lot of seniors have an old account they haven't thought about in years. A savings account at a bank that got bought by another bank. A small credit union account from a car loan decades ago, still sitting with a few $100s in it. The system doesn't care that you forgot. It finds it, and it counts it. Here's what it's built to find: checking accounts, savings accounts, money market accounts, certificates of deposit, credit union share accounts, and special purpose accounts like Christmas Club accounts. Around 96% of financial institutions participate in this automated system, meaning the agency can verify electronically nationwide without you ever being involved in that step. So if you're on SSI and believe you're comfortably under the $2,000 limit, an old forgotten account surfacing in a scan could change that math in a way you never saw coming. Here's what protects you. 4 steps. Step 1. If you're on SSI, sit down this week and list every account with your name on it, not just the one your check goes into. Old accounts, forgotten credit union accounts, certificates of deposit. If you're not sure whether something is still open, call the institution and ask. You want to know what the scan would find before the scan finds it. Step 2. Add up your liquid resources across all those accounts and compare it to the $2,000 limit. If you're comfortably under, you have less to worry about. If you're close, that's your signal to get clarity now, because a forgotten account is exactly what tips a close case over the line. Step 3. If your situation has changed, report it. Don't wait to be caught. If you came into any money, even a modest amount, understand how it affects your eligibility before the next verification cycle, not after. Step 4. If the agency contacts you for verification or a redetermination, respond promptly and keep documentation. The worst thing you can do is ignore it or guess. If a specific account or asset question is unclear, that's a conversation for a qualified professional. I can't give individual advice through a screen, and neither should anyone else without knowing your full situation. One more thing, because this matters. Anytime a rule like this gets attention, a scam attaches itself to it within days. This one is already happening. A senior hears about the bank verification rule. Shortly after, they get a call or email from someone claiming to be a Social Security verification specialist who says their accounts need to be pre-cleared for a fee. Here's the sentence that exposes this every time. There is no fee, no service, and no third party that can shield your accounts from official verification. The real SSA will not call you out of the blue asking for your Social Security number or bank details to comply with a new rule. They already have your number. If that call comes, hang up. Call SSA yourself at 1-800-772-1213. A number you look up, never want a caller gives you. Report scam contact to the SSA fraud hotline at 1-800-269-0271 and to the FTC at ftc.gov. Let's bring this together. This rule, right now, applies specifically to SSI. The $2,000 resource limit hasn't changed, but how thoroughly and how often it gets checked has. List every account you have. Know your number against the limit. Report changes honestly, and never trust a caller who says they can protect your accounts for a fee. If you know someone on SSI or Social Security, a parent, a neighbor, someone from church, send them this video. The system isn't going to call and explain this in plain English. You might be the only one who does. Subscribe, turn on the bell, and I'll see you in the next one.